Hello friends, welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm reading to you from Philippians, this time verses 10 and 11 of chapter 3. Hear now these words. I want to know Christ. Yes, to know the power of his resurrection and participation in his sufferings, becoming like him in his death, and so somehow attaining to the resurrection from the dead. This, my friends, is the conclusion of the grand statement that Paul has been making about the difference between having recognition for who you are in yourself versus in Jesus Christ. The former are things that Paul says we don't need to hold on to, that they actually stink like dog poo. The thing to hold on to is Jesus. And so he says, I want to know Christ. It's not, I wish to know Christ. I'd like to know Christ. I hope to know Christ. He says, I want. My friends, this should be our want as well, to want to know Christ intimately, completely, fully. But then there's the rub. Paul says the power of his resurrection and participation in his sufferings. You see, knowing Christ is about knowing both the lows and the highs of Jesus' own experience. Jesus went through death in order to experience resurrection, and we need to experience that suffering in order to experience that joy. And by suffering, it's not necessarily to grit your teeth and just bear it until it's over. It's about diving in and embracing what God is doing, learning how to love others the way God loves, learning how to experience the world not through our eyes, but through the eyes of Jesus, to see the value in other people that the rest of the world is ready to write off. Being willing to accept that the world will not accept us when we live into the fullness of what God asks of us through the scriptures. We live differently, and we need to carry on doing that willingly, because that's how we experience wanting to know Christ and the power of his resurrection and attaining resurrection in our own lives. My friends, we should want to live, but to live like Jesus, to live for Jesus, which means suffering and maintaining our faith. And I'll see you tomorrow for another daily devotion.